Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee and today we've got a big, huge cooking day. My entire family is coming for dinner tonight and, well, all but 3 of them. There's 14 in my family, but I'm feeding 11 tonight. And we're going to do this together. I'm going to show you how I do this. I love big family cooking. I call it Mega Mama cooking. And I'm going to make homemade hamburger gravy. I've got my potatoes over here all peeled. About 10 pounds I think I peeled. Maybe 11 pounds of potatoes. I got 10 pounds of hamburger. And I'm going to make all 10 pounds because it makes a wonderful freezer meal too. It freezes very well. So I can take any extra that I have from the hamburger gravy and put it in the freezer for another meal. Same with the potatoes. You can freeze the potatoes too. So that's what I'm going to do. So when I cook big, I cook really big. I'm going to make I'm not sure if I'm going to do green beans or corn, but I'm going to do just a simple vegetable to go with this. I'm also going to put together a little bit of salad, and we're making a dessert. We're going to make a, excuse me, my mind's going 100 miles an hour. We're going to make a pumpkin crunch cake for our dessert. So this is going to be fabulous. And you guys are going to hang out with me in the kitchen, and we're going to cook, and we're going to bake, and we're going to chit-chat, and we're going to make extra for the freezer meal, which there's more freezer meals coming up. I am starting this week to stock my freezer. My pantry's done, so now I want to stock my freezer with ready-made meals that are going to be easy and all scratch-made. I love scratch-made cooking. Love it. So my freezer's going to be full of that. My pantry's full of beautiful supplies, home canned goods, freeze-dried, ingredients. So I'm all set. So now we're going to take this week, with the exception of today, and we're going to do freezer meals. Plus, I'm going to show you healthy freezer meals. That's my oven beeping. I got it set for 350. If you want to make this cake, follow along with me. And you just preheat your oven to 350. I also got my melted butter for this. This is simple. This cake you use with a yellow box cake. Simplest thing in the world. So we'll get going. You're going to want 1 can of pumpkin puree. Not the pumpkin pie mix. Just pumpkin puree. And you don't want to waste any of that. You need a 15-ounce can. Okay? This has to go in the sink for the recycling. We're going to use 3/4 cups of sugar. Because then, you can use evaporated milk. That calls for evaporated milk. But I don't have evaporated milk. So I just substitute half and half. You can use milk if you want. But I substitute half and half. And we're going to need about 12 ounces of this. So we're going to use 1.5 cups. So there we go. Let me put this back in my fridge. Oh my gosh, I got my fridge all organized. The fridge is packed. You almost can't even move stuff around in there. But I got it all cleaned up the other day. And I was up at midnight cleaning my fridge. I'm going to throw those eggshells in my sink. And you want 3 eggs. Yep, I was up at midnight. I got my fridge all cleaned out. Not that there was anything schmutzy in there, but I just wanted to get it organized and taken care of. I don't know how much pumpkin spice you guys want, but I always put about a good tablespoon in here. Because I like it, I like the pumpkin spice. Now, I'm not going to put any salt in here. And it calls for like a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm not going to do any of that because my butter is salted. Okay, so let me get my whisk out. And I'm going to need a bigger spatula. This can go in the sink. This, I just held my eggs on it so it wouldn't roll all around everywhere. Now you can use a cake mixer for this too. I'm just whipping this up by hand. I love this dessert because it's so easy to make and it's delicious. Usually my family, their favorite is the pineapple upside down cake, but because it's fall, I want fall. I want pumpkin and squash. And I've made pumpkin pie out of squash pie. Well, pumpkin is squash, but I've used butternut squash before to make pumpkin pie, and Hubbard squash. It makes a wonderful pie. I've made sweet potato pie in the fall. I love that stuff. Sweet potato pie is very good. Okay, let's get this whipped up really good together here. You want it mixed real good. That's why I get these box cakes. These were 2 for $1.25 at Pineview. It makes such a cheap dessert. You know, the most expensive part is the canned pumpkin, but a lot of times you can get that on sale at a decent price. So my cake mixes are pretty cheap because I always get them at Pineview. All right, now I'm going to spray my pan. I sprayed over the stick so I don't make a big mess. Okay. Oh, we're going to have so much fun cooking all this stuff today. This is going to turn, your family will love this. All right, dump that right on in. This is almost like a dump cake, really, but it's called pumpkin crunch cake. I guess I like that better than the dump cake. I don't want to waste any of it. Want it all in there. Okay. Now comes the easy part. We're going to take this, but first I'm going to whisk this up a little bit to get rid of the big chunks in it, because then it spreads easier and even. Okay, so let's just put that right in there. They're going to absolutely love this. Okay, let's see. Come on. All right. You could sift this too if you wanted. I'm just going to break these big chunks up as much as I can right in here. And then we're just going to take our hands and spread it all around so it's on the top of this as even as we can get it. Okay? I know the recipe doesn't tell you to do this. If you ever look up a crunch cake recipe or any dump cake recipe, it just tells you to open the box and dump it in. But I always like to make sure I can spread it easier. All right, so we're just going to take this and start spreading this around. See how nice that spreads now that I got it broke up a little bit? Beautiful. Because nothing worse than when you make one of these cakes, you have chunks that are still powdery. That just ruins the whole thing as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so I'm gonna, and you don't want to mix this either. Once you get this on here, you don't want to mix it. Just sprinkle that around and it will be beautiful. And if you can break up those bigger chunks, that's a plus. Okay. There we go. We got that. All right, I'm going to rinse my hands. Now, look at the mess I made. I guess a good cook's a messy cook. We're just going to pour this, drizzle it all over the top of this cake. So that every bit of it will get wet and buttery. Just take your time. All right. Now I'm going to put walnuts on mine because I don't have any pecans. But you can use pecans. Walnuts are just as good. I'm just going to sprinkle walnuts all over the top of this. Some of them are big, some of them are small. I don't care. They're all wonderful. You don't have to grind them. If you want to grind them, you can. I'm just going to sprinkle them just like so. And these will be beautiful. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, now the oven is ready. This is going to go in for about 25 minutes. And we'll see how beautiful this turns out. The only thing is I won't be able to cut into it. But you'll see a picture of it at the end of the video. Because when I cut it and serve it, I'll definitely take a picture so you can see how nice it turns out. All right. I got to clean my mess all up. And then I'm going to get busy with cooking up the burger. So I got 10 pounds of burger that I got to cook up. The cake is going to be out of the way. I'm going to set that out on my freezer in my sun porch area because that is always cold. In the wintertime, this time of year on, it's like a walk-in cooler in there because it's not heated and it's the same temperature as it is outside. And it's kind of chilly outside today. So it'll cool off nicely out there on top of my freezer. So that's where it's going to go when it cools down enough for that. So I'm going to get this all cleaned up because I can't cook in a mess. And I'll be back and then we'll get that burger going. Oh my goodness. Look at how beautiful that turned out. Oh, I could just dive right in that. They're going to love that. I'm thinking, now I've got 12 people coming. My list is growing, friends. I might have to make another dessert on top of this so that everybody gets some. Because, and I know not everybody's going to like pumpkin. That's gorgeous, though. Absolutely. I'll probably whip together another cake. And, or some Jell-O or something. I'll put together something. But that looks wonderful. Okay, friends. I got onions all over the counter. I've got my huge, this is my 17-inch cast iron skillet. That is beautiful for mega cooking. And I'm going to make all 10 pounds of this burger that I have, because you know I might as well cook it all, because I'm not going to use all of it for the hamburger gravy. I'm going to take out about 2 pounds worth of it, and I'm going to use that for my lasagna meals that I'm going to put together tomorrow. So it'll be all cooked up. It'll make it a little bit easier. But we're going to put all this in here. I found my potato masher works nicely to mix this all up. It's doing real good, by the way. It does good to mix it and break it up. It's getting there. Okay, so I didn't season none of this burger. This is just plain with onion in it. Because I'm going to season it when I use it. Like, you know, I want to take some out for lasagna, so I'll season it for the lasagna with my spaghetti sauce. And then I'll season it according to my taste for the hamburger gravy. So that looks to be all done. So I am just going to turn this burner off. Let this cool down for just a little bit so I can get it in a dish. And then I can cool it real good and put it in the fridge for my lasagna. And then I can continue making my hamburger gravy. Okay, friends, I got all this cooked up. And I took out what I needed for my lasagna tomorrow. So, that being said, we're going to start seasoning this up. So here goes the garlic. And I don't measure anything. I just go by taste. And it's going to need, my whole family loves pepper. So this is going to need a good amount of pepper. A couple good spoonfuls in there. And it might even need more. I'm not sure. We got salt going in. We got a lot of meat there to season. And I'm going to also, maybe, if I can get this open, I'm going to put some Worcestershire sauce in there. Worcestershire, I say that every time I do this. It's one of them, but we're going to put about 4 tablespoons in here. And I didn't have to drain much grease off here because this is from my local butcher. And he ground it fresh for me today. And he's got really good meat there, so I didn't have a whole lot of grease on here. Sometimes, and I shouldn't say sometimes, I should say usually, when I get meat from him or burger, you almost have to add a little bit of oil to it because it is dry. It's so lean. It's definitely good burger. This is like ground sirloin. It's not ground sirloin, but it's like ground sirloin. All right. I'm going to be putting some flour in here. And we're making this the old-fashioned way. Now, you can always just add your mushroom soup and, you know, your extra spices to this and make a lazy man's hamburger gravy. Boy, that light's shining pretty bright in here. The sun is gorgeous coming in. But I'm doing this the old-fashioned way, the old school way. I'm going to taste a little piece of that meat. And that's seasoned pretty good. But it is going to need a little more pepper. Okay. I got enough garlic in there, enough salt in there, because I am going to put a little beef stock in there, and that contains a little salt too. So by the time that goes in, this will be good. Okay. All right, so I got that burner turned back on, and we're going to put, I want to say about 3/4 cup of flour in here. And that should be pretty good. And you want that flour to cook down a little, or to cook, you want the flour taste to cook out of it. I'm sorry. So we'll let this get going. I'm going to cook this up a little bit. And when I get ready to add the milk and the beef stock, I will bring you back. Then we'll get that going. We don't have our potatoes on yet. In fact, I can turn them on and get them cooking. This is going to be good. We got our cake done. And then after I get this done, we'll get our biscuits going, because those don't take long at all. And then by about that time, everybody will be arriving for dinner. I might need a little more flour in there, I'm not sure. Looks pretty good for the most part. Of course, if you get it to a point where it's not quite thick enough, you can always do a cornstarch slurry, and you can thicken it up even a little more. So, all right. I'm going to let that cook off a little bit. Okay, friends, we're going to do 4 cups of milk and 4 cups of beef broth. That's just to start. We'll probably need more, I don't know. But we're going to put that on there. Maybe not. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, that is done. And my potatoes are done. I'm just going to whip a stick of butter in here right off the bat. I know it seems like a lot of butter, but there's almost, well, good grief. There's almost 10 pounds of potatoes there. Why do I always have such trouble trying to get the butter wrapper off? Okay, there's 10 pounds of potatoes there. So that butter's going to be good for that. And look at this. The hamburger gravy turned out beautiful. I'm going to, for right now, put some aluminum foil on there. And then I'm going to have Mr. Wayna put it in the oven. We're going to cover this. Hold this down and make a little lid. I don't have a lid big enough for the pan. Put this over. Don't go too far, mister. I got a job for you. Can you put this in? You chew it on a hook below. You're supposed to take the skin off that. You can't. Okay. Can you at least take that and I'll take this side. That pan's hot. Alright, we'll set it in there. And it'll stay warm in the oven. Look, I trashed my stove. Goodness sakes. Okay. I want to wash that up. I'll pour a little bit of milk in here. The butter's all melted. And we're just going to mash these. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of parsley in here. Just sprinkle the top. Just with a little bit. And that's done. I can put the lid on that and set that aside after I clean the stove. Here we go. 2 cups of milk. And then we're going to add some lemon juice to it. You've seen me make this. This is the same recipe I did with the white chicken chili. So, you need to stick about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice in there. And you rinse that off because I'll need this again. Alright. We'll put these away and I'll show you my fridge. I got it all organized and cleaned out and looking good. Oh, it was a hot mess. Not that I had any bad food in it. It was just everything was everywhere. I might have to have my husband go up and get more milk for the grandbabies at dinner time. I got this great big, when I got the 10 pounds of burger today, I got this great big 5 pounds of breakfast sausage. And this is 4 breakfast burritos. I'm going to make a whole bunch for my dad for his freezer. And doesn't that look nice? Nice to have a good, and it's all stocked from Meijer, my Meijer haul. Perfect. I love a nice clean fridge, at least one that you can see what you got going on. You know what, I need another bag of flour in there. So, I got one right here. These are the ones that I got on sale. I usually keep my flour in a great big bin, but I didn't put these in there because there's no sense in it. They're just single. Usually I buy bag or flour in a 50-pound bag. So there we go. Okay. Perfect. I gotta melt 2 sticks of butter. I forgot to melt the butter. So we'll get these out. We'll melt 2 sticks of butter. I'm right here at the stove. I'll turn this burner on and get this melted up so I can mix it with that milk, and then it'll partially solidify so that I don't have to get my hands in there. I like drop biscuits. I don't want to roll it out. I don't want to mess with all that. So we'll get the rest of this ready. And let's see, I need my baking powder. I don't need any salt because my butter is salted this time. So I don't need any salt. And I need a couple tablespoons of baking powder. First I need to do this. Here. I'm like backwards today. But isn't that how it goes when you're just kind of hanging out and cooking? This is how it really is. I'm not always that organized. There's 1, 2, and I love these biscuits. 4. Okay. I don't need those. I can put the lid on this. Get this out of the way. Butter's gonna melt real good. I'm gonna do, because I'm doing a double batch, I'm gonna need 2 tablespoons of baking powder. And there we go. But no salt, otherwise they'll be too salty. I'm gonna use my knife here and break up this butter. Okay. I don't want it to get too hot because I'm going to mix it in with my milk. Just let it cool for a few minutes. We'll whip this together. Okay. Now all we'll have to do is wait for that milk. Get my pan out. I think that I'm going to need my bigger pan. And even though this pan is seasoned, I still like to give it a little bit of a spray so that none of these biscuits stick to it. Just a little bit. All right. Now, let me make sure this butter isn't too hot. And I'm going to need a bigger, well, you know what? I could probably just stick it right in here. There we go. Okay. Give that a little bit of a mix. See that? That is going to be cold. The pan isn't. You think I have room for it? take the grapes out for a minute. We'll put it right there. Oh, these grapes are good. These are the ones I told you I always clean them. Look how beautiful those are. I always clean them and put them in there loose so my husband won't get them. By the way, that's cold. By the way, those people called my husband to drive. Now, I told my husband, I'll go with them, but I'm not going to drive because I've got a lot of videos coming up to do. And my YouTube is going really good, and I want to keep it going. So I do my videos Monday through Friday, and I usually just take the weekends off and enjoy family. But if I start driving, they were wanting me to drive a separate truck. And I said, no, absolutely not. I don't need to do that. You know, I wouldn't drive. I did that 15 years ago. I drove over the road by myself, which is absolutely dangerous for a woman. It's just not safe out there. It's not a woman's world out there in the trucking industry. So but I did it for like 3 years. I drove by myself, and then my husband and I drove together. And but I won't do it again. I'm not doing that anymore. I'll drive with my husband, you know, or I told them if they need 2 trucks that are going to the same location, you know, so that we're in the same lanes, I might do that. Take a separate truck behind him and a trailer, but I am not going to drive by myself out there anymore. No way. So, anyway, he's up there right now talking to him. And he's hoping that it's going to be, you know, worth his while, because you can't do it for nothing. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility in driving truck. And all my truck driving friends out there, you know what I'm talking about. All right, this is ready. So, I need to get the rubber spatula and my scooper, the big scooper. We'll get this mixed up. This is beautiful. Oh yeah, see that? All those chunks? Beautiful. Okay, now we're just going to get this mixed up. These will be divine. Just get in there and scrape it with your dough whisk. Whip it upside down if you need to. I think I got it all mixed pretty good. You don't want to overmix it. Well, you know, I already told you all that. Okay. And those of you who haven't seen that video, it's my white chicken chili video and the easy buttermilk drop biscuits. And they're wonderful. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to have to take that great big pan out of the oven. And my husband's not here. So this is going to be fun. I got to take that out so I can do the biscuits. I've had my oven at 200 to keep this nice and warm for dinner. Oh my goodness, is that heavy. I love that pan. Now that pan was pricey. You know what though? Cast iron is pricey. So that pan, it was $70. I got it on sale through Amazon. I got a good deal on it. So, and you don't often find that. So I paid $70 for that 17-inch skillet. And I love the thing. And I think that this one is going to be perfect size. I want nice big dollops. Fill it full. I love cooking for my family. Nothing like it. Look at that. They're going to love these. With some nice soft butter. You can even make honey butter. And it'd be wonderful. I don't need that much. That's a little extreme. There we go. We need to put a little more in this one. And this one. Look at that. Maybe I should have used my bigger pan, but I think I got it. These will be beautiful in here. Because I got to beef a couple of them up. So by the time I get the couple nice and beefy that I need, it'll be perfect. Okay. I got to beef this one up. And this one. And this one. Okay. That turned out perfect. All right. Gorgeous. Look at those. I don't want to waste that. That's how I did the other day. Get in here and scrape all this out of here. Okay. We'll put some right here. Get off there. That one. We'll put the rest right there on that one. All right. So, those look good. They'll be beautiful. Okay, so, oh, you know what? Cancel, bake. Let's see, I gotta set this up to 450. Okay. Now, it is 5 o'clock now, and everybody's going to be arriving here any minute. The potatoes are done. The cake is done. The hamburger gravy is done, and it's delicious. And the biscuits are the last thing to go in the oven. And then you will see it when we plate up the food. And you'll probably see Susie and the grandkids, and I mean the house will be full. So we'll see you when that time comes.
Yep.
God, the fridge is silly.
You not see Uncle Tony.
We're all set, friends. We got these biscuits. Oh, look at these. They're still a little warm, but they turned out beautiful. And we've got, you can see the stove. We've got our mashed potatoes. We've got our hamburger gravy. We got a lot of noise going on. We got the house full. And I did some corn with a little bit of pepper in it. So there. And my fine china. So we are all set to eat. So I'm going to put the butter over here. Last time we really did.
He wasn't walking, that was...
And I'll give you a close-up. There is the beautiful hamburger gravy, the corn, the mashed potatoes, the biscuits and the butter, and my house is full of people. See them all?
She doesn't know the rest of them.
Everybody's there. Oh, I got some.
There's a whole photo.
So there you have it, friends. I'm going to go enjoy my beautiful family with the dinner that I made for them. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.